We got Tesla's Q1 2025 earnings report earlier this week, and they missed, guys. Tesla missed the target. It's all over for the company. I'm just kidding. They did see the revenue come in slightly lower than people were expecting at 19.34 billion. But if we look underneath the surface of this Q1 earnings report and we look into the details, we can see that Tesla is actually doing pretty good. And I'm going to talk about some of the good things that I see happening with the company. We're also going to get into these tariffs and how they're impacting Tesla, and talk about how Tesla may actually have an advantage over some of these other automakers due to the fact that they produce in the United States. And we're just going to look at the company overall and look at their long-term outlook and talk about if it's a good investment here where it's currently priced. Before I do get into the video, please make sure to like the video and also subscribe to the YouTube. Really appreciate your support. I'm also going to put a QR code down below for a Bitcoin tip. So if you want to support the channel, feel free to leave me a little tip. Now let's get into it. Tesla's Q1 revenue came in at 19.34 billion, which was less than expected. According to Bloomberg, their expected revenue was 21.35 billion. So they missed the mark a little bit. If we compare Q1 2025 to Q1 2024, Tesla saw a 9% year-over-year decline in revenue, which is pretty big. And if we look just back to Q4 of 2024, Tesla's revenue was 25.71 billion, and it dropped to 19.34 billion in Q1. So that's a pretty big drop off. And the main reason for this drop off is that their automotive arm of the business did not perform well in Q1. Now, the main reason that they saw less revenue for their automotive arm of the business is because Tesla was making some upgrades to their vehicle factories, and because they were making these upgrades, they couldn't produce as many vehicles, and this led to less vehicle deliveries. Their automotive revenue for Q1 was 13.97 billion, which was a 20% year-over-year decline from Q1 2024 for the automotive arm. Let's go ahead and take a look at a visual here, which shows the year-over-year growth or decline in automotive revenue. And as you can see, over the past couple of years, they have not been seeing a ton of growth when it comes to their vehicles. And this is a little bit concerning, and it's something to keep an eye on, right? If you look before 2023, you can see there's a lot of growth for their vehicles. They're seeing a lot of demand, and it's something we have to think about and ask ourselves, is there a problem here when it comes to Tesla's vehicles? I think it's also important to note that we have had all this tariff drama, and that has led to a lot of uncertainty out there in the economy, maybe a little bit less demand, maybe people holding off from buying a new car. You also look at the political instability out there and the fact that Elon Musk has now been linked to Trump and this MAGA movement, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, a lot of people who drive Teslas who are not too happy about that. So I think there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Obviously, when you're making upgrades to your factories, that's going to have an impact on your production, but it's going to set you up for more production long term. And then you just look at kind of all the economic and political uncertainty out there. So definitely something to keep our eye on, but that's the main reason that Tesla saw a drop off in revenue. One positive that we saw in Tesla's Q1 report is that their energy generation and storage revenue came in at 2.73 billion, and that is a 67% year-over-year growth rate from Q1 2024, which is pretty impressive. And this arm of the business is starting to grow pretty fast. This is where I think that people may be sleeping on Tesla a little bit. We think of Tesla as a car company, but with this energy generation and storage arm of the business continuing to grow, I'm starting to think of Tesla more as an energy company. And if they can be the leader in sustainable energy, renewable energy, they are going to be a very valuable company as we head into the future. Let's go ahead and take a look at a chart here which shows their energy storage system deployments over the past 5-7 years or so. And as you can see, we have seen these deployments continue to rise faster and faster, and the revenue for this arm of the business has continued to grow. So this is something that I'm really liking when I look at Tesla. If they can continue to grow this arm of the business out, they're going to be a very valuable company. Now let's talk tariffs, because obviously these tariffs have had an impact on Tesla as well as most companies across the United States. One positive for Tesla is that they produce their vehicles in the US. Tesla does their production in Fremont, California, and Austin, Texas. And while a lot of these other automakers do their production outside the United States, and they're having to think about, do we want to, significantly adjust our supply chains? Do we want to bring back production to the US? Tesla's already in a good position, right? They're already producing the vehicles here. They're avoiding a 25% tariff on imported vehicles. So in a lot of ways, these tariffs may be kind of helping Tesla, right? They're making it more difficult for the competition. These other automakers are probably going to have to raise their prices if they can because of these increased expenses. And if they do raise their prices, that may push more people into the Tesla market. More people might start to look at Tesla who may be able to keep their prices more stable and think, hey, maybe I should get this Tesla. It hasn't gone up in price, and I'll be able to save money because it's an EV and I won't have to pay for fuel. It isn't all blue skies for Tesla. Tesla does import around 20 to 30% of their vehicle components, things like lithium-ion batteries, and this probably will lead to increased production costs in some ways, but maybe not as much as for other automakers. You also look at China, which is Tesla's second largest market, and the fact that China has put retaliatory tariffs on the US. So that could hurt Tesla, and it may make it more difficult for them to hit this market and compete with these local EV companies in China. Now, one thing to think about with tariffs is, how is this going to affect the overall economy? It seems like we are seeing the economy weaken a bit. We are seeing a little bit less demand with all this uncertainty. Are we going to see more layoffs? I think so, especially if these tariffs stick. And if we do see the economy weaken, if we do head into something like a significant recession, people probably aren't going to be able to buy as many cars, right? So that is not going to be good for Tesla's business. And when you think about vehicles, these are a pretty big purchase, right? When people are getting laid off, they don't make purchases like this. So that's something to think about. What is the economy going to look like for the next 12 to 24 months? And could we see all automakers take a big hit, as vehicles are expensive? And when people aren't working, when the economy is receding, people can't afford a car. We saw some other good things in the Q1 earnings report. We saw that Tesla is planning to produce more affordable vehicles here in 2025. We saw that robotaxi production is expected to ramp up in 2026. And one of the things that makes me bullish on Tesla and their vehicle arm of the business is that they continue to try out new things, right? I'm sure you've seen some of these Cybertrucks out on the road by now. Who knows if that trend will continue, if that's going to be a car that we're going to see a lot 5 to 10 years down the line from now. But when you think about something like a robotaxi, an EV vehicle, an autonomous driving vehicle that can get people from point A to point B, who knows? We could see a lot of these robotaxis out on the street 5 years from now. So I just like that Tesla is always trying out new things when it comes to their vehicles. Who knows which ones will be successful, and not every idea that they have will be successful, but the fact that they're trying new things and trying to grow this arm of the business out further, I definitely like that. We also saw that Elon Musk is planning to spend less time at Doge and more time at Tesla, which Tesla investors have to be happy about. The thing about Elon is he's doing all these things. He's running SpaceX, he's running Tesla, he's running X, he's in the government. And the fact of the matter is, the more you focus on something, the more energy you put into it, the better it's going to be. So I'm sure that Tesla investors would be happy if Elon would put more energy into Tesla. Now, what is the long-term outlook for Tesla? I'm pretty bullish on this company. Obviously, Tesla is a leader when it comes to EVs. It looks like this arm of the business is going to continue to be popular, and they're trying to expand it, although it looks like they're having a little bit of trouble growing from where they're at. Over the past couple of years, we haven't seen this arm of the business grow as much as shareholders would maybe want. I'm very bullish on the energy storage solution side of the business. It looks like this arm of the business is continuing to grow, and I really think that if Tesla can be the leader when it comes to renewable energy and renewable energy storage, they are going to be in a great position as the world is looking to move in that direction as much as the world can. One thing to keep in mind is the short term, right? What's going to happen with these tariffs? Are we going to continue to see high tariffs out there, especially with key trading partners like China, Mexico, Canada? And what does that mean for the economy in the short term? If we do head into a significant recession, if we do see massive layoffs, if we do see bankruptcies, if we see things fall apart, that's not going to be good for any businesses, right? And for a company that produces expensive cars, they may see a drop off in demand. So there's a lot of uncertainty out there in the short term with the economy. I don't feel too great about the stock market, and really that's not where I am. I think there are better places to be. But if you are a long-term investor and you're looking at stocks, I feel like this is a company that has a lot of room to grow. And the last thing I want to cap off this video with is just thinking about the fact that investing in Tesla is an investment in Elon, right? You're really betting that Elon is going to figure things out, that he's going to find ways to grow the company. When we look at some of these companies out there, the most valuable companies in the world, and the heads of those companies like Mark Zuckerberg with Meta, Jeff Bezos with Amazon, Elon Musk with Tesla, you're really making a bet on the person. And historically, making a bet on Elon has proved to pay off pretty good. That's going to wrap it up for this video. If you didn't like and subscribe, please make sure to do that now. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon.